This is the Shots Fired podcast, and I am your host, Franchise 254. And with me tonight are host Yaz Love.
Who?
Oh.
Toxic.
Hey guys, what's going on?
And Team Jackass. Disturbed. Jackass is off his meds.
Remember, baby, you're spending blood money.
All right, so
My blood money.
shut up, clown. Alrighty, so this week we're gonna have a few interesting topics to talk about, as well as us arguing as usual, and so on and so forth.
Doc, hey.
So
Michael, I'm looking through my appointment book and I don't see your name.
Introduction
Yeah,
to
well, I'm
yourself.
more of a walk-in guy, Doc. You know that.
Walk-ins
We'll
are more
start off with
expensive, but
Mr.
I'm always happy to accommodate.
Sure, you'll accommodate me as long as I got money
Team
in
Disturbed.
my pocket, right? Hey, I'm in a bad way, Doc. I might come by soon.
Once, one day in bed camp.
Yeah, thanks, bro. Honestly.
Is that the kind of introduction that you wanted?
Somebody kicked this guy in the balls.
Oh my God, why is he?
What do you want? Alright, introduction. Let's see. Should have been in what was it, episode number 1? Not episode number 2.
Hey, episode number 1 was a complete disaster. We're not gonna go back and talk about that.
Are you kidding me? That was hot sauce.
was
No.
Yeah, hot
episode
sauce.
number.
Full of fucking vinegar. You're right.
All right,
So-
let's see. Introduction. All right, introduction. Let's see. I'm Team Disturbed. I love to play Battlefield 1, GTA 5 sometimes. I'm waiting for God of War, because I love me some Kratos. And I love to rage. I love to rage. Yes. Rage. I also rage on Twitter, too, if you guys want to go and follow me. But I can
That
guarantee
doesn't sound
that
like you would all the served. Not even a little bit, right?
Do not go on his Twitter.
Yeah, don't go on my Twitter. Just because if you're a feeble-minded person and you go on my Twitter, you're definitely gonna kill yourself. So don't go on my Twitter. But if you're strong-minded and you love the country that I live in, then follow me. That's my introduction.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. We'll get to you, yeah.
My name is Yaz Love. All of my gamer ID.
Around or?
I'm a disabled Marine. I love to play games. I do a lot of FPS, and I like to just play. Love the game as much as possible.
All right, Toxic.
Alright, formerly Matty J, now Toxic. Avid gamer for a long time, been playing ever since the Atari.
Really? 'Cause I keep hearing Aphrodite this, a cop
Mostly
that.
Battlefield lately. Still into the Assassin's Creed series. Was playing a bit of Witcher 3 for a little while there. Haven't got that out for a while. Been playing mostly Battlefield of late. Although I've been a little bit MIA for the last couple of weeks. Like getting stuck back into it now, which is good, but don't muck around too much on Twitter. I do have an account. I believe it's E_V_toxic_V_V. If anybody wants to follow. Other than that, back to you.
Yeah, great.
Oh, that was easy and quick.
Dad, it means a lot.
Hey,
Okay.
don't fuck around.
Wait,
Well, I'm Franchise, and I've been gaming forever. Like Maddie, I'm
Nothing
back
says
to
I love
Atari,
you
played
like
all the
smashing my fucking
Battlefields.
TV. Nothing at all.
I've done a lot of podcasts, been guest on podcasts,
I'm sorry.
play video games mostly.
Just wish we could do
Recently,
things
it's been
together.
mostly Battlefield.
I don't know.
Uh,
Go for walks.
that's
Play
pretty
ball.
much it about
You know I
me.
have bad grades.
So
Bike ride then.
we've
Play
already
rides.
pretty much told
You wanna go
everybody
on a
what we've been
fucking
playing
bike ride?
lately,
Fine,
right?
let's go on a fucking bike
We've
ride.
all been playing the same game, some with each other, some without, right? Am I right here?
We'll take a bike ride along
Except
the
I'm playing
Spooky
GTA
Beach.
5 now, as you guys
And
can
I'll
see.
show you just what you want to see.
Yeah. That's one
Alright.
game I didn't port over to the PS4.
This day was going so well
Actually,
until you showed up.
you
know
would
that?
probably like it on PS4, bro.
Oh, I'm sure I would. I've heard a lot about
You're
it,
lucky
man.
to even be allowed out of the house after that boat stuff.
I went in BF4. You know, when I first came over to PS4, that was the first game I decided to do, and then I never thought about
What's the big
Grand
deal?
Theft Auto at all.
If anything goes wrong, you can just fake your death
Yeah.
and
Even though I
start
got a
all
lot of
over.
friends that play
How
it,
am I
enjoy
meant
the
to
hell out
develop
of
my
it.
own moral sensibilities
Oh
when
yeah.
yours are so
See, we played
unbelievably
BF4,
fuck-based? If I'm hanging
and
with you,
I don't think
I'm
any of
listening
us
to
really
my
got into
music.
BF4 like we did BF3.
hella
Am I safe to say that?
Seriously, some guys
No,
borrow
you're
your
correct.
boat.
Especially the first year they were out.
You were hiding in the head
BF4
crying
was
kidnap.
pretty
They
terrible.
just took receipt of your property with payment
I wish they
pending.
would put
If it was
BF3
anything other than
on
what you
on
told me,
PlayStation 4
then that's on you.
updated.
All right, they fucking
Right.
stole it.
Actually,
would be-
I was
They
talking
would've done
to
if they
Disturbed
found me,
about
but
this,
I
and he
didn't
was like,
expect
Battlefield
or
3,
want them to get
yuck.
killed.
And I was like,
You think I'm gonna let some guys ride off with my son?
What?
Look,
Says the guy
I
who
thought
was,
Battlefield 3 was pretty
Oh,
damn
bad
awesome,
guy.
if you ask me.
crook, a
Yeah,
killer,
Yeah.
a thief, a liar.
this guy was like
guess
in the
I've been all
top
those
10
things
in
one
freaking
time or
tanks in the
another,
world
It's just
on
What?
PS4, but he says
I always
yuck.
thought I was the good guy.
Get out of
God,
here, fool.
the morally bankrupt generation have left us. You're the good guy.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, man, this
I always
dude
knew
here.
you were the kind of person who
So,
didn't let other people
I had
get
a
in the
couple of
way.
things.
I thought Battlefield
Hadn't,
3
like,
actually seriously
seen that
like
happen
completely
before.
revived the series.
Yeah, well, that's me.
Yeah.
I mean,
And I've been
Oh,
trying to
definitely.
Battlefield
make
Bad Company
things
2
under
was like
control for
awesome
the
and
last
everything,
10
but
years,
I mean,
that was
Battlefield
an
3
extreme
seriously it
fucking
was the game
situation,
changer.
and I
It was
had
the
to
one
act.
A
that
normal
changed everything. It
person
was one that
wouldn't
brought
have done
up
that.
most of those damn
Yeah,
COD
well.
players over.
I had to
Oh yeah.
protect you.
Exactly.
Yeah, keep telling yourself
Yeah,
that.
COD
I mean,
player.
Battlefield 4 was
Faces
great,
every
except for all the
time you
damn
close
problems
your
at the
eyes.
start. Eventually, it became good, but there was such a bad taste left in everybody's mouth after all of those. You know, they released the game before it was really ready, and
Exactly. There you go. That's the way I look at it.
and it destroyed the entire experience of it. So, although I was, you know, the best out of all of them was Battlefield 4 for me. That was where I was the most elite, but Battlefield 3 was probably one of my faves after Battlefield 2, probably.
I think the best thing about Battlefield 4 I liked was the compound bow. You know, once you could get a hold of that, that made it so much more interesting.
Here we are, the bike rental place. Please don't
Anyway,
shoot the bike rental
that's my
guy out
take.
of like force of habit.
Yeah. So
I could talk about Battlefield, mate, seriously for like hours, you know, because I've been around it since like, you know, the PC days. So I could
Yeah,
go
so
through
have I.
every single game all the way through the entire series.
Hey, you.
But we won't do that today, obviously.
Take your pick.
yeah, like I said, we've all played. You know,
If I make it to the end
we
of the
played
pier
Battlefield
first, you're gonna
forever and a
buy me
day.
big-ass new
Except for
bike.
Disturbed, he's a
End of
He's
the
a
pier. Fine.
newbie
But
over
if you
from
lose,
COD.
you're gonna do something with your life.
Oh my gosh, no way.
He was a COD head for a while.
Is that
And
true,
then-
Disturbed?
You shall not pass.
At first.
Hey, we didn't discuss
You're
how
kidding
big
me,
the
bro.
TV would be,
No
did we?
wonder
He's
Mo-
such a
That's
tank
20
whore.
inches south.
Modern
Yeah.
Warfare. Modern Warfare.
Yeah,
was-
I
was
knew there was a
less
reason I didn't
COD.
like you very much,
Yeah,
bro.
let's see if you sass me when I'm in.
Modern
You
Warfare,
gotta work on
man.
your
My
fitness,
wife.
Modern Warfare.
big mouth.
I had that. Listen
If you
to
like the
me.
beach
You
so much,
listen to me
bury
now.
yourself out
Yeah,
here.
yeah. Well, I'm
I
gonna tell you,
had-
my wife is a COD fan, and that's what got her sick of COD was because of Modern Warfare, dude. That's when
I was
she
just gonna say my girl's a COD player, so that says everything.
I'm being
His
I
wife,
got-
my girl.
Are your wings
Thanks,
flapping?
Disturbed.
I had.
What does that say
COD.
about you, Disturbed?
He has a vagina.
You
I was
listen to
catching
me and let me
face full of
explain
your
this.
fumes.
He has a
I
vagina.
had.
It's like a woman. Hold on.
Waiting for you at the end of the pier.
I had
I'm
Modern
just waiting
Warfare,
for my moment.
and then for my birthday,
Cupid,
I got
you
Battlefield
played with
Bad
yourself.
Company
Go
2,
figure.
which was sitting in my PlayStation bag for a month. after it was released in March. And then finally, I said, because I couldn't take the Switch glitching and the hacking that was happening, so I jumped on, and to make a long story short, I tried Battlefield Bad Company 2, fell in love with it after a couple days, and then I never looked back, and I've been all Battlefield. I've been Battlefield series the whole time.
Yeah,
and
Battlefield Bad Company 2 was the first one that I played on console, and it was on PlayStation 3. That was, and seriously, like, it got me right back in, because I sort of, you know, died off on Battlefield series after Battlefield Bad Company, and then once Battlefield Bad Company 2 came out, I just was like, this is just insane. Got straight back into it.
Yeah,
you know,
see, I started out MAG. Y'all remember the game MAG, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Ew.
Wow.
That's what I started out doing.
Gross. And you actually had the audacity to say stuff to me about COD, and you went to MAG? Ew, I'm deleting you off my friends right now.
Dude, MAG is nothing like COD, man.
I just deleted you off my friends list.
COD's like for kindergarten.
Why do I have to hold
You
your hand
disgust
through
me.
this midlife crisis?
Hey,
Give me your
hey,
man
if you
card.
want to learn how to shoot, I guess you could play COD. If you really want to
Give me
learn
your
how to
man
play,
card.
play Battlefield.
Thugs break in our house. Tracy
I-
doesn't get kidnapped or
I
destroyed
don't know.
by
I mean,
Well, that's just because
MAG
she's too busy
just
getting
stemmed
fucked by
from,
dudes to get on TV.
you know,
You don't talk about your
was it
sister
the
that way.
Navy SEAL
I'm sorry,
game?
but it's true. I mean, according to
I
her
I believe
Life
it
Invader
was.
page,
Well,
she's hanging out
it was a
with producers
collaboration with
and
Sony
porno
and
guys this
a
afternoon.
few other developers that got together to make
Actually,
it, and it
it's all
just,
happening
I don't
right
know,
out
it was
there.
supposed to be the mother of all
That
games,
boat that
you
makes
know?
yours look like a refugee
And
raft.
it turned out to be,
You know the
at
kind
first
of
it was
girl, one
fun,
that
and then
makes
it turned out to
young,
be trash
impressionable
because
girl
they
who
stopped,
drop her
they
pants and
just
spread her
lost
legs.
interest in
Well,
the
I tell
game.
you what pissed a lot of players off was the damn vote out, dude. If you were in a game, people on whatever team could vote your ass out of the game, and it's like, dude, that's unfair. What if somebody's just coming in and you're voting them the fuck out? And they're like, we don't care, it's all about the win. And it's just like, that's why people don't like the fucking game, man, because you can vote them right out, you know? It's like, this is stupid. I don't know. I've never seen a game where you vote people out. That just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, they're starting to do that now with a lot of games, especially multiplayer games. You know, where
Well,
you're,
you know, if you're competing, I can understand that, you know, and if you're in like competition mode and you're making money off the damn thing, I can understand that. But if you're just playing to have fun, dude, you're gonna turn so many people off the game doing crap like that, you know, and people doing it just out of spite too, you know, not just to do it because of a certain thing, just to do it because they want to do it, you know.
right.
Well, this is interesting because I've never even heard of this before. I remember MAG, and I never played MAG, but I know a lot of people liked it because of the massive amount of players that you could get into one game. So I know that a lot of guys that I was playing Battlefield with at the time were like, oh, we want to go over and play 64 v 64 or whatever it was. I'm pretty sure that's what it was back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. You could do any part of that in MAG, you know, it was all the same. No matter if you went from point A to point B, they were all the same. You know, every squad that was in it, out of all the men, they all had their certain objectives, you know. But, I mean, it was, like you say, it was the interestingness of playing amongst all those people on a battlefield, you know. That was what was cool about it. And Battlefield kind of supplements that by, you know, the 64-player one. I mean, that's what I love. There's so many things going on, you know, at one time. It's very interesting.
Yeah, sometimes it's ridiculously intense.
And
It's just chaotic, man. It's just chaotic, you know, ever since they brought in 32 and all the rest of it. It's just, you know, in some sections of the map, it's just you don't even know what the F to do. You know what I mean? It's just shit going on. There's a lot of But I don't understand that kicking players out. I mean, if some guy goes in there and he's just demolishing everybody, they're just going to go, oh, well, he's too good, let's get rid of him. Like, that doesn't make sense.
Well, yeah, it doesn't, but I mean, it was mainly for the sense of if you got players that are not doing what they're supposed to do, you can kick them out, you know. That's
I understand the logic behind it, but the way it can be, you know, abused.
manipulated. Oh, yeah,
Exactly.
Here's my 2 cents on that. If you're gonna think about kicking somebody from the game, if you're paying $60,
right?
Listen to me, because I'm the one that brings logic to these conversations that you guys.
Yeah, right. Come on now.
Listen
Come
to
on
me,
now.
listen
Mr.
to me.
fucking
I'm not
logic
gonna be
over
cut
here.
off anymore. This is the thing. If you're gonna pay $60 for a damn video game, you know what? As a developer, you better not damn put no kicking system or mechanism into the game. Everyone pays the same amount of money. Damn it. Don't kick anybody out.
Well, I
If you
seriously
don't like-
thought you were going to say something totally different to that, Disturbed, and I was like ready to fire back at you, but man, I totally fucking agree with you on this one.
I bring surprises. See, I'm full of surprises. Podcast about
Yeah, but
this.
see,
Chat, baby.
Hey, Alan, you're late. 15 hours too late, though. So you should have brought that to the attention of the board meeting before they brought the fucking game out in the first place.
Well, the thing is that I didn't even play Mag, so I could care less. I'm not gonna play any video game, and I'm not gonna support any game that has some kind of kicking mechanism. You know what? We're all gamers at the end of the day. And guess what?
Yeah,
if you're gonna have something stupid in the game like that, I'm not getting it.
Okay, but check it out. It's not like it's advertised on the package. When you bought the game, it said nothing about kicking players. Until you got into the game and you either got kicked or you found out that players could be kicked, that's the first time you ever found out about it.
But this is the beauty of social media and the way how we get all of our information nowadays. There's something that's called the internet. You can do your research before the game. You can do something before the game comes out on the internet and research it.
Dude, all there was like maybe a forum at the time. I don't even think Twitter was even happening back then. You know what I'm saying?
God.
This is gone. Just
This is like, I feel like I'm on one of the Maury shows and shit, man. He's about to throw a chair at me and shit.
this guy, man. He's like, I don't know.
I love it how he
man.
has his big rant and then he just goes completely silent, and then we just sit here to pick up all the pieces. Like, what the fuck?
Next topic. Next topic.
Hit run. That's what he does. Hit run.
Next topic.
Yeah. Okay, so with that being said, now I've thought long and hard about this question. Now, with the way they have consoles now, right? Are consoles actually becoming more like their PC counterparts?
Man, I thought when you were saying you were pondering this question, I thought you were going to talk something like life and death or something, man. Okay. You threw me completely off.
Because this is a question that if you come at it sideways, when you answer it, it will eat you alive.
Oh yeah, I mean this is so debatable, this topic, and I mean as far as pure power, you're not going to beat a PC with a console at this stage. But does it really matter? Like honestly, because at the end of the day, we're all here for an experience, not for. I mean, you know, the graphics and everything are great, and all the rest of it. You know, you can game in 4K or whatever. Not that I have any interest in it. But as far as consoles versus PC, as in power to power, you're not going to beat a PC. You know, you can upgrade specific components to do that. But you know, why do we buy consoles over a PC? That's one of the drawbacks for it, is that you've got to continue upgrading for it. On the other, the trade-off of that is that you've got to play games that are not quite, you know, graphically crisp, I guess. So the graphics experience is going to be a little bit different. But I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say about it.
Oh, we'll see. I was thinking that, like, with what's going on with the Xbox One X. Yes, I said something about an Xbox. Kiss my ass.
Yeah, go for it, dude.
Wait.
I've seen the stats on
Box
it. Yeah.
One? The Box One?
Yeah. The Xbox One X.
Yeah, no, the Box One. The Box One. No, I'm just kidding. I tell you what, well, you got when you look at the Xbox, I mean, they're so affiliated with Microsoft. So I mean, the push towards the PC brand or make it look so close to PC, and you know, I mean, how many years have we been hearing about PC and console players are supposed to come and play together? You know, what was Eve? Remember that game when it came out on PS3? We were supposed to play with the PC gamers. You know, they were on Eve Online, and we were the ones on the PS3 down on the planets doing the battles. You know, but there was supposed to be some kind of interconnectivity there. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It's the graphics, I can say, dude, are getting so much better. You know, it's like I said, it's really hard. It's hard to say. You know what I'm saying? A console so much like a PC as it is, you can hook anything to it. You know. At least the PS3 you could hook the printer up to it. You could do just like you could a computer, you know what I'm saying? But as far as the graphics compared to the computer, no, there was nothing like it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I mean, so, I mean, do you guys feel like we are getting as close to a PC experience
as we're ever going to get? No way.
No, no, definitely not. I mean, there's not enough ports. There's not enough where you can get into it and add things to it if you want. You know, just like the computer is. You know, it's a self-operating system in itself, and just like I said, the PS3 was able to do so much more than what the PS4 can. You know, and yet the PS4 is supposed to be so much better than the PS3. So it just does it makes you scratch your head. I don't know.
And then I mean. What do you guys think about all these new iterations of consoles coming out every 2 years now? 2 to 3 years.
Wow. On my budget, I probably won't buy them, but every 4, so.
I mean, basically what we're looking at is, like, now we have a new Xbox coming out. And there is a rumored new PlayStation to come out.
PS4 Pro or the PS5?
The PS5.
Oh yeah.
There's
already?
Yeah. No, it's coming out. It's coming out.
They're saying 2019.
So we're still a couple of years off. I understand that. I mean, I've got a PS4 Pro. I do like the load times. It's much faster.
But I mean.
That's about it.
Yeah, I mean, are you really getting anything extra out of the PS4 Pro?
Oh, no, there's not much more I can really do on it. It's really just it loads games a lot faster, really. I mean, I've got a normal PS4 as well. I can't really tell the difference between the two.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they said it's basically the same hardware with a faster chip.
Yeah, I mean, that explains why I'm the first one to get into the game on Battlefield, or, you know, in the first 5. You know, I'm the first one in there, but I'm usually the first one to spawn too, but not like that really makes a difference. It's...
You're the first one to die, so...
Jerry, it's me.
To me, I mean, if you're going to come out with a system, it's like, you can't keep digging back from the past and trying to improve what you did from the year before. You know what I'm saying? Come out with something that's going to blow your mind. I mean, VR, it's...
Excuse me.
You know, that should be so much further down the road, because I don't think it's quite ready. I don't think, you know, the systems they're trying to bring out to support that aren't ready to support it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the times I think some of these game companies are trying to overproduce something that isn't ready for the generation, I guess. I mean, look at the 4K TV. Why hasn't the system itself been up to par with the 4K TV, you know?
Well, and
I thought that was what the 4 was. Maybe that's what the 5 is going to be. Who knows?
Yeah, doesn't the Xbox not going to allow that to happen?
Yeah, see, I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, I know you're on the PC, you can game in 4K. I mean, not that... I don't know, I just don't really have any interest. I don't know. I mean, I've got a powerful computer as well. I don't game on it. It's weird. I mostly do all my media editing and shit on it. I game on the PlayStation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I'm about the same way. I've got a great computer, but, you know, I don't know, I got a 1080. Yeah, it does me fine.
Right. I mean, are we really looking forward to 4K, or do we really want them to just perfect 1080p? Because, look at it. Full HD.
Well, let me ask you this. It's all about what are you looking for in a gaming experience? You know what I'm saying?
And that's what I'm saying. You can talk about the graphics and all the rest of it all as much as you want, but it's all going to come down to the experience. It's not,
exactly.
you know, it's how you feel when you play and all the rest of it. It's not going to be, oh my, you know, when I'm sitting there, I'm not looking at, they're going, oh my god, look how that freaking thing, you know, the anti-alias thing on that sort of shit. I mean, I just, when you're in the middle of a freaking battlefield, is that what you're really thinking about? No.
No.
I'm thinking about don't get shot in the fucking ass right now.
Exactly.
You know?
And that's one of those things where when you come to gaming, you kind of look at it and say, you know what, them upgrading these consoles, I can see if they do a hardware upgrade every year or every couple of years, you know, say, hey, okay, well, we're going to tinker with how the games perform instead of trying to make them look graphically amazing. I mean, the
but I'm going to stop you right there. Think about it like this. The game developers weren't even expecting the change that PlayStation did when they went from the 3 to the 4. You know what I'm saying? Because they had really no developers when they first came out. They had maybe 4 or 5 developers on at that time. You know what I'm saying? And then once everybody understood what the 4 could do and how it was pushing it at 1080p, they were like, oh crap, okay. That's when it got better. You see what I'm saying? So the game designers are only going by what system's out at the time. They can't, you know, they don't have a crystal ball looking into the future going, oh, hey, if it's like this, then let's make the game to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're only going by what system's out at the time.
But the thing about that is, what kills me with that is, most companies get those dev kits before the consoles are even really finished.
Hey. Sorry.
No problem. Before they're even really
and they do
finished.
that so that the games are ready as soon as they're released.
Right.
Right. As far as upgrade path goes for a console, so you could say, you know, you could make the components a little bit more accessible, and you could go out and buy like an upgrade kit for your console. Sure, that's. I mean, that stuff's been explored before, and the simple fact of the matter is that, I mean, I think that's why we all love consoles, is because everybody's on an even playing field. You know, we're all playing with the same equipment, we're all playing the same game, it's at the same level, it all looks the same across the entire lot. Whereas on a PC, you got guys that have got insanely great graphics, processing power, all of these sort of things, you know, that gives them that edge. That, you know, whereas on a console, it's even across the board. Everybody's in the exact same boat, pretty much, except for maybe internet connection.
That's
exactly. It's all based upon the ping.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. When it comes to the internet connection, you know, it's like if we're playing in whatever server in Battlefield, Disturbed usually has the best ping because we play on East Coast servers, and he's right there. So,
except for when you're playing with me, because then we play on a West Coast server, because I'm in Australia, obviously.
Give me a minute.
And, yeah, but I mean, my ping's usually sitting around 170, so it's pretty.
Wow.
I'm really, really good in close quarters because the lead doesn't. As soon as we get sort of medium to long range combat, though, I've got to lead and lead the target.
Yeah, you're the one I'm
much.
cussing at.
Yeah.
It's like, damn it, I can't hit the damn dude. He won't stand fucking still.
Yeah, you've got to lead them, you know? Because of that new update that they put in.
How do you know?
Yeah.
Because you came here. Why else would you?
Anyway.
I haven't been a good friend for you, Lester.
I mean, that's just one of those things where we could talk all day about that.
Whatever I ask.
But at the end of the day,
I mean,
you have people who are PC,
I need something done. You
quote
need to know
unquote,
something.
elitist,
Might not help each
and
other.
they have to have that.
Make some dough.
That just super modifiable
I guess.
gaming rig when the newest hardware comes out. You know, but doesn't that cause a problem with software?
Lists anywhere. I know you never.
Well, yeah, of course it does. I mean,
I never told anyone.
You know, I'm not a computer expert, don't get me wrong, but I mean, you know, generally, if it wasn't to where you could add things to your computer to improve them or to upgrade them, you know, if we were back in the Tandy era, back in the freaking 70s, you know, where fucking almost impossible to upgrade a computer. You know, you were basically like a console back in that day. They all were the same. You know, you couldn't add or take away from any of them. They all just read a floppy disk. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now it's like you got the graphics card, you know, the high ends and all that shit. Everything's just working to improve your speed or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And you can be at an ungodly speed as you're playing a game where you might have a guy that's down the road just got a basic setup. You know what I'm saying? It's I don't know.
I cannot let go of the 1980s bag and dress yourself up like a billionaire man.
Well, that's what
I wish people would slow down. You know what I'm saying? I'm the type that just says you're bringing out too much crap too quickly. You know, I'm slow down, man. Let us enjoy what we have already.
Call me when you're ready. We are about to put the Darwinism back on social Darwinism.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to add on to this. Do you think that they brought the PS4 out too soon?
So we'll go robbing soon.
No.
No, yeah, definitely.
I think it took them way too long, to be honest with you. I don't even understand why it takes them this long to continually upgrade these systems, and then by the time they're out, they're already nearly outdated. I don't understand that. It just seems, I don't know, it seems a little wrong to me, like we're always a step behind. But look, going back to the PC stuff, I mean, I started on PC, you know, with first-person shooters and all the rest of it. I started Battlefield on you know, Need for Speed, all of these games back in the day was on PC. But I switched to console along the way, and a lot of people say it's because your friends, and it wasn't. And it was all to do with the experience with console. Anyhow, sorry about that. I had to add that.
No, you're right, correct. But back in the day, the PC was all about the personal experience. Nowadays, it's all about the social experience.
Correct.
So, with that being said, consoles actually are where I would say, see, people often say, okay, the most hardcore players are PC players. I hear that a lot.
Yeah, okay. That's completely subjective, but anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, but I feel like if we're all on the same playing field, everything's leveled out, everything is right there, same hardware, same everything, wouldn't that make us console players more of
This was a nice car.
you know, more gamers?
Well, how is a hardcore gamer defined? I mean, what's the definition of a hardcore gamer?
Yeah.
So, is it somebody that plays like non-stop, day in, day out, or?
Well,
that's what I'm saying. It's completely subjective. It depends who you talk to, really.
Yeah, that's true. I can agree with that.
You know, because I mean, I would be classified somebody that was a hardcore gamer, but not because of the playtime or anything like that. Just, you know, how much I was into it, the competitive side of it, the platoon wars and all the rest of it that I used to get right into and compete in, made me a hardcore gamer. Not that I did you know, huge amounts of time invested into Battlefield. I think I only did 200 hours or something probably less in Battlefield 4. It might have been like 140 hours, but I was competing and everything, which made me hardcore. But then you've got other hardcore gamers that are just straight up on it day and night. They never get off and that makes them a hardcore gamer.
Oh my God, I got 900 hours. Yeah, I've got 900 in Battlefield 4. I guess I am a hardcore gamer, huh?
I think I've got 7.
Got outsourced.
Wow.
Yeah, I did not like Battlefield 4 at all. I gave up on it early.
Well, no, I mean, you know, I'd have to agree with Matt. I think it's really subjective. I mean, you know, what do you define as a hardcore gamer? Is it the one that eats, breathes, and shits the game? You know what I'm saying? Every day, all day, 24 hours a day? Or is it just one that it's his passion? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everybody's passionate about, you know, or they wouldn't be gaming. I mean, why else would you own a system if you didn't like the game? You know, look at my dad. My dad's 70 years old. I'm 47, you know, and he looked at me and goes, "Oh, you're always wasting your time playing on that thing." And I'm just like, you know, they found a study the other day talking about gamers that we have good hand and eye coordination, you know, and it also keeps you in this, what did they say, a multitasking mode. your mind is always thinking of more things than one. You know what I'm saying? So
Better problem solvers, all the rest of it. I read that study.
Exactly, yeah. So it's like, you know, there's other reasons. I didn't realize that when I was gaming when I first started, but you know, hey, if that goes along with it, that's even better.
If that's how I can justify 900 hours, then that's what I'm going to
do. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean that's basically, you know, one of those things where we're at our age, we look at, you know, hey, this is what we've been doing all of our lives. My dad actually started me with video games, you know?
So did mine.
I mean, it was like, okay, here's some quarters, go play Pac-Man. I was like, okay, Dad, thanks.
Not those. Please, not those.
And it was, from there, it's like, okay, well, do you guys remember the portable consoles? I mean, portable video games, the little bitty, like the Donkey Kong games.
And
Pac-Man, Donkey Kong. I had all of them.
Wow.
So my dad was like the one that started me down that path.
Man, I just bought the Atari, you know. It was easier to just buy the, you know, cartridges. Even though they were like $70 and $80 a damn piece at the time.
But that's I mean, I started on Atari. I must have been 4 years old, but it was because my parents bought it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But, you know, they weren't big gamers. They just did it for social functions, like when they had parties on the holidays or something, you know.
Correct,
it was something
correct.
To get the kids out of your hair, you know.
Yeah, and then my dad bought a Commodore 64, and I mean, he's not a gamer at all, but he used to sit on there and play this weird little war game where you're like in the back of you're in this car thing, and you're like throwing grenades out at stuff and all this. It's the weirdest game ever. Thinking back now, at the time it was like, you know, cutting edge.
Oh yeah.
But he used to sit on there and because you could play multiplayer on the same screen. But him and I used to sit on there and play that. But anything after that, he just bought the consoles for me. I remember when the NES came out. I remember when the Game Boys came out. I remember Super Mario Brothers 3. No, oh my god, I go on about all that all the time. That game, just absolutely unbelievable. So, but you know, that was all because my parents at the time.
No, definitely
that's how they kept us entertained, I guess.
Beat going outside in the sun, huh? At least I know where Johnny is. He's in his room playing.
No, way too.
Well, I grew up on a farm, so I mean, I was still out running amok anyway, as well.
Oh yeah. Well, I was the same way. I mean, that's the thing. When I was a kid, I didn't play as much games. I was gaming, but God, like you said, it cost a quarter, so it wasn't like something I did all the time. And then when I got the Atari, it was only on those special occasions that you were allowed to play, you know. So I don't know. Now I guess I'm older. I can play when I want, so I play it a lot. You know. Now my kids. Now, don't get me wrong. I got 3 kids, and they're all gamers, but they're PC gamers, you know, which really blows my mind because I was always a console gamer, you know?
Yeah, see, it's like my kids. My kids, they're the opposite. They love consoles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's really interesting. I wonder if that is actually because the age of the computer gaming, I mean, consoles were there first, really, when you think about it, like, as in the whole experience of it. Like back in the day when you had like your NES and stuff, the gaming was really only done on consoles. I don't even remember many people playing stuff on PC back then.
Oh, did you forget the Commodore 64, bro?
I remember the Commodore 64. We had
one. But yeah, they had card games and stuff, but not like true gaming. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, Commodore 64 was basically a goddamn console with a keyboard anyway.
This is true.
Yeah.
So
anyway.
Yeah, I mean, our buddy Disturbed is
Ew,
yeah.
No, definitely not.
I'm glad. No, I'm just kidding.
I think he's over there.
He must have had an anger attack.
Are you guys ready to hear my opinions?
Way too sex predator.
Oh my god! Seriously,
Wow,
bro? Was that like to spite us or something? It's like that's it. I'm giving them the silent treatment. Are you maybe see? This goes back to the COD thing, being a chick, Seriously,
Well,
we're going to give them boys the silent treatment.
Well, now that you guys have put our listeners to sleep, now I'm going to go ahead and say what I got to say about this console and PC thing that franchise brought up earlier. The thing is that when you look at it from a logical and business standpoint, the reason why PlayStation and Sony came out with the PlayStation 4 to PlayStation Pro, and then shortly after Microsoft followed, is because they are indeed trying to catch up to PC gaming. And not only that, is that because from a business standpoint,
why do you sound like
there is something that they want to do about making more money.
Way too sex predator.
I can't even believe we're back there, dude. That conversation was, what, an hour ago? Jesus. Those points would have been brought up perfectly back then. Fucking unreal.
So that is why. So that is why they are doing.
Oh my goodness.
This guy.
Next topic.
Alrighty.
Oh, shit.
So, okay. We were gonna discuss modded controllers. Okay, we all heard of modded controllers.
Oh yes.
We've seen people that use them. We've experienced this. I'm gonna add something to this a little bit later. Do you think that people who hook up modded controllers, the console should detect them and ban them?
Well, let me put it to you this way. If it's competition, yeah, I think they should. But if it's just, I mean, you know, everybody has their right to what they want to play with. You can't stop that. I mean, I'm against modded controllers, don't get me wrong, all the way around. But, you know, let's look at a disabled person. They got to have a modded controller. That was the whole purpose of bringing out modded controllers anyway. You know what I'm saying? So,
good luck at the interview.
To eliminate them, I think that would be wrong. But, yeah, I think they should be monitored, maybe. But it all depends, you know.
And it depends what we're talking about here. I mean, you can mod your own controller by putting, you know, those control freaks and stuff on it, which allows you to gain better control and all the rest of it. And then you've got other ones that do things like rapid fire and auto spot, which I think is completely like, are you effing serious? You know, because that's changing the way.
The prototype is somewhere in the Life Invader office.
You know,
find it and fit it with the device in your bag.
When I was looking at this, and it was like
why wouldn't they if you look the part? Hang around till someone opens the door and act entitled.
And I'm just like, that's just. So they're going in there, they're completely changing the way the game is supposed to be experienced. You know, it's allowing them to shoot faster, it's allowing them to auto-spot enemies, it's allowing them to play with no recoil. It's basically turning it into COD. But anyway...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if the game turns into COD, we have a problem.
Yeah.
If you have a modded controller, you need to be wearing a skirt. That should not even be in the industry, in games whatsoever. Modded controllers are
seeing a very different tune to this, actually, Disturbed.
I have always felt this way.
Who wrote that for you? Who wrote that for you?
Why is it that whenever I gotta say something, you always gotta interrupt me? But whenever anybody else says anything, you don't say nothing.
Hey.
Okay, Morikovich.
PM's pushing for more functionality.
So modded controllers should not be. So modded controllers shouldn't even be in the industry. Period. You shouldn't be playing with modded controllers.
So what's your definition of a modded controller, though?
You know, it's you gotta do what you gotta do.
You know, like you spoke on some of the topics where it's like
anti-recoil and rapid fire and all that shit.
And rapid fire, of course. And there's also something where some of the wait. I'm not done talking. Jeez.
You know, you gotta do something for me.
You gotta put it in a ticket.
No. I'd like to keep this
Oh, he's lost his shit.
There's also modded controllers where it does something with a franchise, and you know a little bit about this too, because you know how like some of the TVs, like if you get like a monitor, if you go from a TV to a monitor, there's like a, what's that called that you and somebody else were talking about, where there's a difference in frame rate or response time. Well, some of these modern controllers that are out, and there's one particular company, but I can't remember the name. Franchise, you know exactly who I'm talking about the one guy who was on that other podcast that we had, where he actually was a partner with these modern controllers, where when you shoot or when you move, it supposedly eliminates that response time, like that delay. So you always have
like the latency over Bluetooth.
You know, my son's
that what we're talking about?
The same kind of
it's like something like that, where it totally eliminates something that someone with a regular controller, like they can't get rid of. This modded controller gets rid of it. So that person always has an advantage. And all of that crap, all of that shouldn't even be in the industry. Everybody should be all on the same playing field.
They gotta send me on another
but I will say one thing though, which kind of like, you know, kind of ruins what I'm trying to say here, is because I do support mouse and keyboard, and I think more developers need to, especially in
start allowing for it, right?
Exactly, they need to start supporting that and start putting that in their games, because somebody like me, I would love to use the mouse and keyboard. I would use it on my console. I think that's fair, and I think that if you open it up to that, where no, here's the thing, no, because there's no modding it. No, you're not modding the keyboard and the mouse.
No, he's talking about native support. He's talking about native support.
Thank you. Yeah. There's no modding of the mouse and keyboard. Listen to me.
That's what I'm saying. Now the PS3 used to do that. You could hook a keyboard to it. You could hook a mouse to it. Not all the games are supported, is what I'm saying. No. I realize that, but what I'm saying is that was the fuck up on the PS4. When they brought that out, they eliminated all of that. You can't hook anything up but a controller, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? And a memory card. I'm sorry.
A modded controller takes mouse, keyboard, and a regular controller. Like a modded controller just goes above that, because now you're messing with elements that sometimes are out of your control.
You're messing with the mechanics of the game, and once you start doing that, I think that's like, you know, if you take something like Rapid Fire, for example, something like that, you cannot press the button that fast. I mean, it's like commonly impossible, but that allows you to be able to do that. You know, a lot of people, the auto spot functions that you can use in Battlefield, I mean, that's just absolute. I mean, learn how to goddamn spot. Wear that shit right out. I mean, I do on mine. I frick the button, my spot button's worn to pieces. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But they're just doing that, so that takes, you know, less skill for them to play the game. The anti-recoil thing is another thing that really pisses me off, because that allows you to just stay on target all the time without having to deal with you're messing with the mechanics of the game the way it's supposed to be played.
Exactly. Yeah. And with everything that he just said,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
With everything that Toxic just said, when you go, and this is why I say that still mouse and keyboard is still on the same level playing field as a regular controller, is because you're not going to that other element where you're messing with the mechanics of the game. As long as you're not messing with that, and more developers support mouse and keyboard and gives everyone a fair chance to be able to either use a controller or mouse or keyboard, I'm fine with that. But the minute you start going to a modded controller, I have no respect for you. I think that you need to wear a pink dress, and you need to wear lipstick, and you need to wear red lipstick to kiss my ass. And that's what I wanted to say. And I'm done.
Hey, now I have no problem with a keyboard and a mouse on a console, okay? Because I look at the console, or I look at the PC. there's people that can't use the keyboard and the mouse
Hey,
when
Michael,
they play
hold on,
games.
hold on.
They have to use a controller.
Ya.
And that's why the PC allows them to port the controller where you can play it with a PS4 controller and Xbox
my
controller.
friend.
So I don't have any problem with the keyboard or the mouse on the console.
Yeah, sorry, your phone is rigged. What's your problem? You don't like shooters?
They're all the same.
And look, I mean, some of these guys that are really, really good with a console, with a controller, sorry.
Classic Vinewood ended 30 years ago. Now it's just superheroes, romantic comedies, and remakes, none of which interest me.
Absolutely unbelievable. It looks like he is playing with it. And
I
I think that if it doesn't, I mean, if you have the keyboard and mouse or you have the controller or whatever, if it changes, I mean, you can still only turn
whatever
as
you
fast as
say,
the game
enjoy
moves.
yesterday.
It's not like
Anyway, just call the device after
So when
he's
it comes to those
unveiled
sorts of
it,
things, I
and
don't
then
think
we'll
there's
talk.
anything wrong with that sort of. I think, to be honest with you, that PS4 should have native keyboard and mouse support out of the box. I think it's stupid that it doesn't. Plus, it also will open them up, to a lot of other players that will go, oh well, maybe we don't need a PC. We can do that on the PS4.
Exactly. I mean, they already have, or you can get online on the PS4. It's so hard to do it when you're on a controller than it is to have a keyboard.
And to be honest with you, that needs to be the norm. It has to be done ASAP. And the reason why I say that is because if you look at Nintendo and Microsoft with Minecraft, they are now going cross-platform. So pretty soon, because it is in beta now, it's a private beta, where now you can actually play people from Nintendo and Xbox. They can now play Minecraft together, which you weren't able to do before. So if you're going to start now going cross-platform, mouse and keyboard needs to be the norm, because the only thing that you're doing is you're only helping your base. And the reason why I say that is because now, from a statistical point of view, you have now brought that gap from console to PC a little bit closer. I'm not saying that console is ever going to take over PC, but I'm saying that now you're going to give console players a little bit more of, they're going to be able, they're not going to be so far behind when it comes to, cross-platform with PC gamers where they're just totally getting owned. Because if you ever, there was one game, I can't remember what it was, where PC, I think it was Microsoft, tried something with PC and console, and the console players just got totally crushed by the PC gamers. And it was all because they were using controller. Well, if you're allowing everyone to use mouse and keyboard, it's a little bit, I'm telling you, because I came from PC. I know the PC gaming. It's a little bit better. And the gap has now shortened a little bit. And that's good. Everybody wins with that. What's wrong with a little bit more competition? Nothing.
Okay, well, you got to understand about the console is limited on the space it can hold, whereas a computer is, oh my God, it's like you never even use enough. You know what I'm saying? That's why it runs better. That's why it looks better. In fact, most of the games we play on a console today are made off of PC before they're ported to the PS4. So I actually think there needs to come a day where everything is combined into one system, I believe. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's looking to one thing to supply everything. But who's going to be the one to bring that out?
Yeah, unfortunately, that's not going to happen.
No, I know.
That's not gonna happen because every company, every developer, every manufacturer, they all have their own.
But do y'all remember when Atari and
Capitalism will
ColecoVision
just
came
stop
out?
that from happening.
Yeah, exactly. But do y'all remember when Atari and ColecoVision? You remember those two gaming developers, correct?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Now you could take an Atari game and put it into a Coleco system. The same with the Coleco system game into an Atari, and they both worked. You know what I'm saying? And all my life, and all my gaming life, I've always wondered why they didn't do that. It's the same damn game, Battlefield 1, I play on the PS4. Why can't it go into an Xbox? You know what I'm saying? Or into a PC? You see what I'm saying?
And see, that's what Microsoft is trying to do now. They're trying to open
I mean, yeah, to me that is, why do I have to go, okay, I want to play on my computer, Battlefield 1, but damn it, I got to go out and buy a whole new game to play it on the on the computer. If I buy it, I should have the rights for it on my computer, on my system. You know what I'm saying? Whatever I want to play
I
it on,
agree
I
with
should
that
have
actually.
access to it.
And that's one of those things that, I'm going to be called a Microsoft lover or whatever, but these are just facts. No swaying either way. Xbox put out a year or two ago. They were like, okay, well, we're going to make anything that you buy on the Xbox One, you're going to be able to play it on PC.
You're just an Xbox fanboy franchise.
He is.
As I play PS4 every day. I hardly touch my Xbox, actually.
Yeah, dude, I was just messing with you. I don't really care. You're like, oh, you're going to call me an Xbox lover or a Microsoft lover or some shit.
Think of it like this, Francie. I was saying that earlier. See, Xbox is basically Microsoft. You know what I'm saying? Now, if PlayStation, what is it? Sony. Well, Sony doesn't have a computer. You know what I'm saying? They're not in the computer market like Xbox and Microsoft. You see what I'm saying? So Sony, that's too big of a leap for them to go, hey, we're going to let you do it on the computer, because in the end, they're going to be losing out their ass if they do that. You see what I'm saying?
Sony dropped out of the computer business.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, they're not like where Microsoft continued, you know what I'm saying? And Xbox is just like a entity of them, if you will.
So Sony's getting back into all that stuff, and I'll tell you why. It was the PS Pro. The PS4 Pro. The PS4 Pro was Sony's way of dipping their toes into this. Let's update our console once every 2 years-ish.
Yeah, but see, I don't buy that.
And let's just go ahead. Let's upgrade these components a little bit quicker, and let's just see what happens. And
I mean, let me put this
what
this way.
happened
I was
was
in the PlayStation MVP program, okay, with PlayStation, all right, and they never considered to put. They're all about money, in other words. You know what I'm saying, dude? It's like trying to squeeze money out of a fucking turnip with them. Dude, they don't like to come off their fucking money. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So, and how do you make your money? When you upgrade your console every 2 years instead of every 5, 6, or 7 years. Or like that bullcrap that Sony said with the PS3, that it's a 10-year console. Bullcrap. Because the way how Sony makes their money is the amount of consoles that they sell, and now they're making even more money.
I don't have
with the
to.
PlayStation
I'm watching
Network,
the markets. I'll be
which
trading
is something
pure
that they really
alpha
didn't
till
have
close.
established with the PS3 as they have now with the PS4. So
now,
Sony comes
Oh,
in.
yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. Put on a suit, look somewhat professional, and meet me at my warehouse off the LS freeway. Oh, and I'm about to email you a link for the exchange. You can put in some trades of your own.
The amount of sales that they did, which was more than they expected, now you can expect to see Sony coming out with the PlayStation 5 rather sooner than we all thought they would come out with.
Yeah, but they said the Pro, from what I read, the Pro sold like shit compared to the PlayStation 4.
Exactly. But those numbers, even though they were shite, were Sony's favorite shite numbers, which is what they wanted. So
okay, let me put it to you this way. A lot of it is making people jump through hoops anyway. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing ever bringing anything new to the table. Now, the leap from the PS3 to the PS4, that was actually somewhat bringing shit to the table because they advanced a little bit there. You know what I'm saying? But now from the PS4 to the PS Pro, we just heard from Matt where there's really not that big of an increase from the difference. You know what I'm saying? It's just like a baby step.
Not to be of benefit, but I think it's more about getting the market ready for that. I think that's where Disturbed's coming from. It's getting the market ready for that. Well, we're going to start upgrading our systems and all the rest of it, you know, on a couple of years. Then the developers could then start doing games that you could change between PS4 and PS4 Pro or whatever the case may be, so that you could have better graphics, better, you know, for high speeds, all the rest of it. I think that's where they're coming from with it, but, you know, was the PS4 Pro worth the extra whatever,
Think of it like
$150,
this.
$200. No, it really wasn't.
No. Well, think of it like this. It's like me and my wife. We both own a PS Vita. Okay. Now, we thought when the PS4 came out, oh my God, they're going to do some awesome things like, you know, interconnectivity between the 4 and the Vita and shit like that. They kind of do where you have cross buys. But as far as that, I can't play BF1 on my Vita. Not that I'd want to. But you know what I'm saying? It's not like that's a $400 system, mind you, too. The Vita is. It's just as much as my PS4. I can't do half the crap I can on the 4 that I can on the Vita. Saying, you know what I'm saying? There's games I would love to play on the Vita, but they only make it for the 4. Why did they make it for the 4? It should have been a Vita game. You see what I'm saying? So it's like they come up with things that last for a while, but then they never do anything to, you know what I'm saying? Kind of bring them together, if you will. I mean, dude, think of Battlefield 4 and its app. Why can't you bring the app to the Vita? You know, why does it get to be on a phone or something to that effect? You know, not everybody's got the up-to-date fancy phones. You know what I'm saying? Well, why not a Vita?
See, the PlayStation Pro, the PlayStation Pro was, because if you look at all the TVs that are coming out now, every single thing, because it's all 4K, 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 4K. That's all that you hear about. Well, what did Sony start saying with the Pro? 4K, 4K, 4K. Well, the entire industry is now heading towards 4K. So what Sony is doing is they're just trying to make sure that they're one step ahead of everyone else, and at the same time they're also trying to just gauge where they need to go as a company, which is what they did with the Pro. And there's nothing wrong with that. If anything, I applaud Sony for doing that. I think it's good because it's advancing the gaming industry. But I also think that with the Pro, Sony also showed us a side that they are now also saying, hey, you know what, with this Pro, we're going to put some computer components in here. Let's see what the gamers think about it. And that's exactly what they're doing. They are heading towards, and I'm telling you, in about 5 years, maybe even 10 years, Sony's going to come out with a tower, and it's going to be like a Sony PlayStation desktop something, whatever the hell it is, and they're going to start making these
photos. I don't think it's going to be like that, dude.
It is going to be that, dude. Rad. Trust me, it is. I know it is. I can see the future. It is going to be that. That's a, and look, why do you Microsoft, same thing with Microsoft. Why did Microsoft put some computer components in the Xbox One? Why?
Yeah, they
can somebody, am I not seeing something? Or am I the only one that's seeing, wait a minute, why are these computer components now starting to go into consoles? What are they doing here? What's the greater picture?
They started that with the Pro.
What kind of components? Yeah, like what kind of components you talking about?
As far as resolution, the way how you see resolution, the way how everything now
we're talking
from
about graphics cards and all the rest of it. They've always been in consoles. It's just that now they're upgrading them to, you know, up to computer level.
Exactly.
I mean the new GPU in the PS4 Pro is miles above the one that was in the normal PS4, and they've had to do that to allow for the 4K gaming. To be honest with you, I've never even looked at 4K gaming. I've never done it, never been there, so I don't really have a lot of experience when talking about that. It's probably something I should probably look into a little bit. But for me, the PS4 Pro doesn't really give me any huge advantages except for maybe load times, because there is a faster CPU in it. There is a little bit more RAM in it. I believe that is the graphics RAM separate to the normal memory in a PlayStation 4 Pro? I'm pretty sure it is.
It is.
So whereas it was shared memory in the PS4, I don't think it is. I think the GPU has dedicated memory now, from memory, from something I read.
You're correct.
Yeah. So, you know, that's going to definitely make some differences hardware-wise. But although the Xbox One X or whatever the hell it's called is supposed to be even better again than the PS4 as far as power goes. I did see the specs a little while ago, and I think it was the graphics card was going to be 6 over 6 teraflops or something like that.
Right.
Versus 4.2 for the PS4 Pro. So I mean that's a bit of a jump, but also the Xbox is probably, you know, geared towards the people that don't care about spending the extra money for it either, because it is going to be more expensive, or it is more expensive than the PS4.
$500.
Yeah, so what's that, like $100 difference or $200 difference? What is it?
200. 200.
200. Yeah.
Because they just dropped the
I don't know, I'm
price.
not in the United States. I know what it is over here, but in the States, I'm not sure.
Yeah, they're dropping the. There's going to be a price drop for the PS4 Pro to $299.
Right.
So, but to kind of elaborate on what Disturbed said, you know, bro, they've been putting computer components in game. The consoles where you really first started noticing it was in PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360.
And that's where they started going sort of like computer level stuff, like PC level stuff. But I mean, the PC is always going to, it's going to continually be in front of, because stuff's getting developed on it all the time. I mean, there's entire companies that, you know, thrive off, like, you know, NVIDIA and AMD with their Radeons and all the rest of it. I mean, they're industries dedicated just to gaming graphics power, you know what I mean? So they're going to continually drive.
It's Ricky from Life Invader. I know you're the bro who deactivated Jay,
Wait,
bro.
wasn't the PS3, did they use a blue cell
What
processor?
you do's your business, bro.
Well,
Anyway, Jay really got a big head once people started calling him a god. Guess you proved he wasn't one. They reintegrated my team in Burundi after the design got signed off. And now, my shares ain't worth dick. I need work.
No.
Maybe you could provide. I mean, I'm smart enough to track
but
you
it wasn't
down,
called
aren't I?
it was just a cell processor.
Hey, I'll be in touch.
And
Yeah, but they called it blue something. They called it was a blue chip something they were calling it. They were saying that it was, Sony was selling it as like the wave of the future, and it failed because they didn't even put it in the PS4. But I know, what Blu-ray player is. I'm not living in the, you know, I wasn't born in the 19th century.
No, what the deal was with that was the cell. The PS3 was too hard to develop for because of the cell processor. Is what the problem was. So you would get less third-party titles, or the third-party titles look like crap compared to what Xbox did. Which now that has changed. Now everything looks better. It looks better on PlayStation. PlayStation runs more stable than Xbox. You know,
Does it?
From what they say.
That's interesting coming from an Xbox fanboy.
Hey, the only thing that I've ever really
Sony must be sponsoring him.
Oh, he franchise is an Xbox cross-dresser. Oh, yeah, he is.
Cross-dress my nuts,
That's where the
clown.
Xbox comes from, right? Now my brother was an Xboxer, you know, when I was a PlayStation guy, but I always saw his red eye thing. You know, he went through 3 or 4 of those bad boys, and you get the red eye of death, and boom.
Yeah, I never.
Yeah, well, whatever you guys like to play, it's all that matters.
I mean, I'm one of those people, and you know me as such.
Hey, what?
The day a console comes out, I buy it. Right or wrong.
No, I mean that's your choice.
Yeah, I mean
There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, put it this way: I don't see any of the problems Xbox has now that they did then. So, to tell you the truth, I would probably buy an Xbox. You know what I'm saying? Because they're getting better than they were before. But I don't know. I'm a PlayStation fan. You know, I've always been PlayStation.
I haven't. I started on Xbox. I had the first Xbox.
Really?
Yeah. I had the first Xbox. I believe it was in competition with the PS2. I didn't switch to PlayStation until PS3. When the PlayStation 3 came out, that's when I moved over. But yeah, I got the first Xbox. I used to mod them actually. I used to mod them to allow extra hard drive space and all the rest of it in there because I was a computer technician at the time.
See, that's what I did.
Yeah, that's where I started.
Yeah, when I was in Germany, that's what I was doing. The guy would tell me, "Hey, go buy you at the time like a 200 gigabyte hard drive was like the tits." You know what I mean? That was like the big thing back then. It's like now 200 gigabytes is like garbage.
Yeah, so true.
So yeah, but yeah, it's just one of those things where we could go on and on and on about, you know, what's going on in the world and what we've got, you know, what computer savvy and all that good stuff. Whew, man, I think we've talked a lot.
Yeah, I think so too. We're going over an hour now, so.
Yeah, hour and 10. So, yeah, I guess next episode, whenever that is, 2 weeks, 2 months, I don't know, whenever we can all get it together, we'll have some other discussions. We'll have some other things to really just talk about and shed light on. Any last words for anybody?
No.
I was really happy that Disturbed didn't say too much this time.
Oh, did he say a lot last time?
Oh, he started arguments, mate. He was wanting to start a war last time. He was on a freaking war bar,
I
man.
think out of an hour show, he was 59 minutes of it.
With that bell, dude, you remind me of that dude off Breaking Bad. You know,
oh god.
Ding, ding, ding. Yeah.
Oh man. So yeah, but yeah,
Don't
welcome.
ask Alan if he's got last words.
Yeah, I want to welcome you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being a part. You know, we game probably once, twice a week, maybe 3 times a week. Solid guy, great guy. You get the 2 thumbs up, seal of approval. Maddie,
I appreciate it.
One of these days we'll catch Maddie online.
I was online yesterday.
Wait, what time? That's the problem.
You were there.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were yesterday.
I don't remember. Yesterday
and
I was.
Franchise, you came on too, but you're on the opposite team. I know what you're doing.
I think I was drunk yesterday.
Wait,
Yeah,
Matt. What time is it there? What time is
right
it in
now?
Australia? Yeah.
It's 10:34 on Sunday morning.
Holy shit! See, it's 7:30 here at night on Saturday.
And it's 8:30 where Disturbed is on the East Coast on Saturday night. So we're a long way in front of you guys. So it's the only times I can get on with you guys is on the weekends. All the rest of the time I play my night time after I finish work. So.
Well, no doubt, no doubt. Well, we'll
make it happen. It's all good.
You probably see things coming before we do, then, huh?
Yeah, I kind of live in the future, mate. You know what I mean? So I know what's coming way before you guys do. Like 17 hours or something.
No.
Yeah, man. But okay, well, I guess we're gonna wrap it up. Say whatever. I'm just surprised Disturbed didn't go on some kind of rant about who, what, when, where, and why, and all that good
Usually
stuff.
politics or some ridiculousness.
Oh, hell.
That'll happen next week.
Yeah,
2 weeks
dude, I
from
can't
now.
believe you've been this quiet. I mean, I've said some stuff that normally would send you effing crazy.
I'm giving everybody a chance to talk. I'm giving everybody a chance to talk. Like Franchise said, last show, I was 59 minutes. This one, let everybody else talk. But if you guys want to hear me rage, I rage every single day. I'm always raging. You can come on my Twitter. You can friend request me in PlayStation Network.
Who's your governor in New York?
You can friend request me on the PlayStation Network, and you can join my party, and I'll be more than happy to rage about anything that you have, any topic that you want to bring up, because I always have something to say about everything. and I won't apologize for anything that may be offensive ever. And I just speak my mind, and it just is what it is. And you know what? I don't care what anybody thinks about me or my opinions.
Can I slap you?
Dummy,
just
you,
once?
you dummy, you.
I just want to slap you one time.
Slap this.
All right, everybody. That's the Shots Fired podcast on YouTube. Good night, everybody.
Peace.